Cabinet has given approval for the rollout of the cylinder recirculation model, which among others will cut by half the use of charcoal for domestic activities or cooking. Initial attempts by the MPA to introduce the model last year was met with protests and strikes by the Association of LPG Marketers. Well, the association cited job losses as the main reason, but at a swearing ceremony for the newly constituted governing board of the cylinder manufacturing company, the Energy Minister, Dr. Matthew Poku-Prempeh, charged the company to ensure scale-up of production of gas cylinders to meet likely demands with the rolling out of the model. Tussle between the board and management of the cylinder manufacturing company in 2019 led to the dissolution of the board by the finance minister after the disagreement affected the payment of salary to workers. Now, the energy minister, Dr. Matthew Poku-Prempeh, wants the new board to work towards turning the fortunes of the company around. But are there concerns actually by the Association of LPG Marketers following the rollout of this model? Indeed, if there are, Gabriel Kumi is the vice chairman of the association and he joins us via Zoom. Gabriel, we're so grateful that you joined us. Your impression, first of all, about the rollout of the first phase of this initiative?
Thank you very much. I mean, it's a good thing. I think there is a certain misconception that I want to clarify. We have not opposed the policy because of job losses. We don't oppose the policy per se, but our concerns was with the process of rolling out the policy. The process was not transparent enough. There was no clear-cut plan, a transition plan to transition from the current system to the new system. Fortunately, today we had a meeting with the chief executive of MPA. We had a very, very fruitful meeting, and we have laid out our concerns, and he has assured us that our concerns will be taken to the table and will be given due consideration.
So even as you meet the appropriate authorities for your concerns to be met, what about the rollout of this initiative and outstanding issues that you want addressed?
Yes, as I did indicate, for the past 4 years, we've been trying to implement the policy, but there's nothing on the ground to show. We have wasted a lot of resources and a lot of energy on this policy because we didn't adopt the right approach. And that is what led to the resistance. So this policy is not coming to introduce a new industry. This policy is only trying to adapt a new strategy to an existing industry which has been in the system for the past 24 years. So if you are trying to apply a new strategy to it, all that you need to do is to be patient. But initially we saw it as a greenfield where maybe we thought LPG has not been sold in Ghana before, so let's go ahead and introduce cylinder recirculation. It has to be introduced in a very, very gradual manner. The two systems will have to run side by side before you can eventually fade out one. I mean, that is what happens at any introduction of any new policy where there is an existing system. But that was not done. Everything was being rushed through since 2017 till now. We have not been, there's nothing on the ground, even though we've wasted a lot of resources and a lot of energy trying to introduce this project. But fortunately, Mustafa Hamid seems to be adopting the right approach toward the policy. And as I did indicate, we had a very, very, very fruitful meeting with him today. And from the indication that is coming up, he is likely to succeed in his attempt to introduce this policy.
Of course, we've had discussions with you regarding not just the rollout, but the penetration of LPG consumption across the country. Now, thankfully, this new policy, according to the Energy Minister, is to cut by half the entire consumption of charcoal as a means of, cooking across the country. I mean, even as we're cutting this by half, what safety measures do you think should be employed to ensure that we do not record emergencies moving forward?
Right. I don't know how the Energy Minister came by those projections, but one thing I can say for sure is that, yes, we are likely to You know, the president has set an objective to increase consumption of LPG from the current 25% penetration level to 50% by the year 2030. But one factor that is going to hinder seriously against, that is going to be an impediment to that projection, is the price of LPG. Currently, the price of LPG, a kilo of LPG is being sold at 7.20 to 7.30 Ghana cedis. That culminates into about 110 Ghana cedis for the average household cylinder. At the end of the day, you need consumption to support all these projections. And the LPG is a product with an elastic demand. The only way you can increase consumption, the only way you can engender growth is to bring down prices, so that the ordinary Ghanaian, you can expand the consumption net so that the ordinary Ghanaian can use the product. So we can keep the vision of trying to increase penetration from the current 25% to 50%. But we see the price of the product as a major obstacle. If government does not do anything about the price of the products on the market, it's impossible to achieve any set target. And that is why for the past 3 years, we have called on government. We've been knocking on the doors of government to consider removing about a 22% taxes on LPG. This is a product we used to subsidize way back. We went to full cost recovery and we put as much as 20% tax on the product. This is the product being subsidized by other countries in our sub-region and other countries in Africa. Subsidized, they are subsidized, isn't it? So when you go to Ivory Coast here, Burkina Faso, Mali, they are all subsidizing the product. They are not even, they've moved even downwards from full cost recovery to subsidy. But we have put as much as 20% tax on the product. That is how for the past 3 years, LPG consumption in Ghana have been stagnating. If we don't do anything about the taxes on LPG, there is no way Mr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh's projection can come to pass. And there's no way the president's vision of increasing access and penetration of LPG from 25% to 50% by the year 2030 will be achieved. This target was set about 3 years ago. But for the past 3 years, we've been stagnating. The consumption of LPG has been hovering around 28,000 tons a month. And we've been stagnating for the past 3 years. We are not even growing at par with population growth. So, yes, the projections are good. Rise in consumption of LPG can help Ghana a lot. It can save our environment. It can save our river bodies. It can protect us as Ghanaians. But that will have to go with a consensuous effort to bring down the price of LPG.
Well, thankfully, we should be having the finance minister tomorrow in the mid-year budget estimates. And out of that, there's so much expectations from various quarters of the business ladder when it comes to tax rebates, review of specific spending expenditure and so much and so on. From your perspective, with regards to the LPG consumption in the country, what line do you want the finance minister to toe if he is to touch on your sector specific?
We expect nothing but the finance minister should come out and tell Ghanaians that all taxes on the LPG have been removed. Yes, we believe we need the taxes to develop our country. We believe that the benefit this country is likely to gain from pushing up consumption of LPG from the current 25% penetration level to 50% penetration level will far more outweigh the benefit we are gaining from these taxes. We have presented a lot of papers to the Finance Ministry and to the Energy Ministry on these taxes. And at tomorrow's review, we are expecting that the Finance Minister will finally come tell us that taxes on LPG has been removed. And that will help achieve the President's vision for the sector. Because you cannot eat your cake and have it. You cannot expect to achieve growth in a consumable product like LPG, a mass product like LPG. At the same time, you keep putting taxes on the product. The two can never be achieved. Either we keep the taxes and degrow, or bring down consumption, or we remove the taxes and grow consumption of LPG.
Gabriel, your point well noted. We're so grateful that you joined us, and you're still watching The Marketplace here on Joy News with me, Charles I.